Mac. Yeah, it's all so true. They told me fear the PTO, cause the Japs are on the loose. Better not see it in the jungle. Better not advance into the jungle. Better not stray into the jungle. Why, you'll get ambushed, you see. Thought I heard it rumbling, playing a night rules game. 200 Yankee guns are loaded. The sergeant cries, take aim. Better not see X in the jungle. Better not advance into the jungle. Better not stray in the jungle. Why, you'll get ambushed, you see. Over in SG-10, Sergeant Schmutz, he spoke. Let the privates know my wisdom. Fill the heads with smoke.
Hello, everyone. Over here, Jeff. Over here. Nope, lower. Over, forward. Yeah, close.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
Oh, hello. Well, hello. I thought I heard voices. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Two Half Squads, the one and only podcast dedicated 100% to the greatest game in the world.
I'm Dave.
I'm Jeff, Advanced Squad Leader.
We are your hosts. Today is the 9th of August, 2023, and we're enjoying the weather tremendously. We are not getting fried like a lot of you out there. Sorry about that. Jeff's staying hydrated, even though it's not that hot out.
No, it's weird. And I do feel a little guilty because as with all of that's going on, apparently with heat waves everywhere, we've had a very excellent summer here near Chicago.
Upper 80s, low humidity for weeks.
Yeah.
Sporadic rain.
Yeah, good enough rain and really good. In fact, today, Robin and I, my wife and I finally decided to get to the beach. We hadn't been to the beach yet this year.
Oh, the Chicago beach up there?
Yes, we go to Illinois Beach State Park, which is just to the north of the Great Lakes Naval Air Station, the Great Lakes Naval Base.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never been past it in the way we went today. And it's huge. That place is huge.
The lake?
I mean, no, the naval base. The naval base is huge. It goes on and on and on and on and on with buildings
I hate people that go on and on.
People saluting but it's fascinating to me because I don't spend much time around military facilities, so it's a little bit exciting, you know. And yet, one thing I noticed that the naval base is lacking. I don't know if you ever noticed this. What the big thing they're lacking there?
Ships.
Yeah, they got no boats.
Making a joke.
There's no boats.
It's a training base. They don't
for the Navy. You'd think they'd have a boat.
They learn to drive the boats out when they get to the coast.
It's like driver's ed where it's all indoor and those little the little pods.
Video
games, maybe.
Trainings.
Maybe that's it.
That's probably.
They have no ships. They have no boats, no ships, none. And I don't mean they have a few. They don't have any.
Not even two cops in a canoe.
No. I was shocked. but so I know what to get them for Christmas. It's like a nice big, but that would be so great if they parked some ships there, even some old ships. There's plenty of old ships around. You think they could bring in some old ships and park them there, and we could go look at them
Yeah,
and play on them like the guys from SoCal do on the USS Iowa,
exactly.
which makes me wonder, why isn't that parked in the harbor in Iowa?
I don't know. There is a ship that is coming on tour. I forget if it was going to be in Michigan or Wisconsin. I think it was too far for us to go on a field trip or to play ASL at it. They're bringing it from. Okay, of course, I don't have the article in front of me. But
Yeah.
they're bringing it from somewhere like it's normally at California or New York, and they're bringing it through the Great Lakes, and then you're going to be able to visit it in different places. And maybe if I Google it, I'll find it while you talk.
This is so okay. Well, this is very typical of Americans. And I can say that because I'm an American. I read this story. Oh no, I heard this story. Wait, no, I read it. And it was about tanks. No, it was about ships. I think it was about ships. And they were gonna like have these flying ships. No, wait, underground ships. But I don't have any more information other than that. It's like, okay, wow, great story. Thank you. Where do you what station did you get that from? Yeah. Well, that would be cool if they did. I mean, they've got a great submarine down at the Field Museum
Science and
or the Museum of the
No.
Science and Industry.
no,
No,
it
it's
is
at the Field Museum, isn't it? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, it's at the Science and Industry Museum.
Yes, it's at the
Yeah, Science
and Industry Museum.
Which is a fantastic facility.
Yeah, and it used to be outdoors, and they have that
Yeah.
video they run where they show how they like knocked the basement wall out and then brought it in. The
Oh,
submarine,
because it's
remember, it used to
inside
sit
now?
outside,
Yes. Yeah, it used to be outside. But they decided that the I don't know, the air is too corrosive or something, maybe.
Exterior,
Yeah.
outdoors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, weathering it. Not good.
Which makes me think on the way to the beach today, we also went through a very old graveyard, correction cemetery in Waukegan, and we thought, let's pull in there. And so we went in there, and there are all these really old headstones. Well, for us, old 1800s.
for America.
For America, that's really old. And so we walked around a little bit, but a lot of the headstones were made of, I guess, limestone or something, and all of the etching was completely obliterated. You can't read anything at all on them anymore. The granite headstones are fine, but the limestone headstones are all like washed away. So
that doesn't last long. I even saw some that we went to look for at a graveyard in Ohio, kind of out there where Laura's grandparents on Don's side are buried, and took Don and her dad and said, hey, look, he's 84 or something, and having some normal aging troubles, and you could be buried here, Don. Where do you want to be buried? He goes, oh yeah, I guess I should think about that someday.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
We brought you here today. Let's decide.
Let's pick one
now.
Let's pick one.
So
they all look so good.
Yeah, so he goes, well, how about this plot? It's next to my parents, and the guy who met us out, Laura set up the guy met us out there who is the caretaker.
Yeah.
And farmer guy, he does run some farming, and then takes care of the graveyard and has a couple guys that help him. And then that's sold. He goes, well, this one's that's sold too. You can be down this row or cremated and put a stone on top of the other graves. So that's what he decided to do.
Oh, so he did decide.
Yeah. And then I started talking about my love for gravestones and how Adam and I want a mausoleum, and our gravestones are so cool. And then Laura's like, shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
He decided, don't talk him into now buying a plot down there and putting up a big headstone. He said cremated right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Did you know the term graveyard is often used interchangeably with cemetery?
It is, though a graveyard is attached to a church.
Toot, toot, toot. I Googled it.
Did you?
You are correct.
Yes.
I knew you would know.
Well, I looked it up because from playing ASL. Because I used to call it I'd look at it and think, oh, cemeteries. No, in the rules, they call it a graveyard. And that makes me think, now let's see now, why do they call it a graveyard?
Yeah.
And it's because there's always a church there, because that's the way they did it in Europe and
There-
traditionally.
And there is almost always a church next to the
Graveyards.
on the boards.
On the boards.
Okay.
Yeah. If you could find a graveyard with no church, let us know.
Let us know what board
Which
and
board?
what hex number. Okay, Jeff, always trying to bring it back to squad leader. Anything we talk about.
Yeah. Circling back. Well, anyway, the moral of this story is when you need a headstone, call the 2 half squads and get the 2 half squads discount headstones.
Official, it's got to have our logo on.
Yeah, it'll have our logo, but it will be granite or pieces of granite, maybe
Yes.
chunks of granite put together.
Yeah, no limestone stuff.
No, only the good stuff.
Because even some that we saw at Don's future home
Yeah.
is they were recent. I think it was like 1940s headstones that were limestone.
Yeah.
And then we're wearing off.
Yeah.
Already. I'm like, oh, this must go back to the 1800s. No, that's a 19. Whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to get plastic. I think I'm going to get mine made out of plastic.
Can you just have people use the plastic mold machines that
Oh yeah, like 3D printers. Yeah.
Print your own
Legos.
headstone. I'm still afraid to go pick one out because I think I'll die within weeks if I actually pick out a headstone.
If you really think that'll
Doesn't-
happen, go buy a lottery ticket. Because if that happens, you're just as likely to win the lottery. So,
Yeah, I should start looking around.
yeah, are you going to buy a ticket? It's like
No,
1.3 billion.
Headstone.
Oh, your headstone. Okay.
No, I won't get a ticket.
Yeah, I won't get a ticket either. I don't want the money, honestly.
We're just losers. We
No.
would never win.
I don't need it. I'm happy without it. I'm happier without it.
Well, we all know what happens to people who do win.
They become our best friends.
That's the problem. Everyone calls them up.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So we have a bit of an interview to finish
We
with
do.
with our new friend.
I'd say first, why don't we do the rules segment for today?
Oh, okay.
And then we'll finish that wonderful interview with
Jim Aikens. Okay, from SoCal.
Got about 20 minutes on that.
Yeah.
And we'll call it a show then.
Okay, sounds good.
So it's time for rules.
It's time for rules. You need the rules to play the game and put your opponents to shame. They might seem hard, but that's okay. We're gonna learn them anyway. Rules.
All right, today on rules, we're going to look at continuing the nationalities as we're into section 25 of chapter A.
A?
Sir Jeffrey, Americans. The U.S. infantry squads have a printed morale level. Is it one higher or one lower on their broken sides?
One lower. Oh no, it's
On
one
the
higher.
broken
Yeah, on the broken
side.
sides. Yes, it is one higher.
It is one higher.
A refreshing departure from the other nationalities.
Indeed. And why is that? Do you remember from your footnotes in ASL?
Oh, that's a good question. It's been a long time since I've read that. We had better songs, better music.
That's right. We did just to rally people's
Yeah.
spirits.
No, actually, I don't recall.
The theory is we tended to retreat and then
Regroup.
and call in the artillery and not just waste lives
Yeah.
on a human wave
Okay.
kind of thing.
Well, okay.
So, but how that plays out is on the so board is frustrating sometimes, isn't it? With your 6 morale Americans.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah.
But that is why. And it says, except for the first line infantry, which have a broken morale 2 higher on than their good order side. I don't remember that in reality.
And if anybody sees any black stuff on Dave's face,
Yeah.
it's because the headphone cups are shredding even as we speak. It's from the hair that grows on his manly visage. So
go to Patreon today.
Yeah.
And donate.
Donate.
I
So
don't have to get this black.
we can
stuff.
get new headphones.
So I'm getting out the Americans. Here they are, folks. This is what my counter trays look like if you're watching on YouTube. By the way, it's my first version of them. Well, actually, not the first one was the film canisters, the clear film canisters.
Oh yes,
Remember
yes.
I had 50 of those. I used to teach photography.
It's hard to come by those film canisters anymore.
It sure is. I still have a bag in the garage.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So looky there.
Okay.
666.
Mhm.
Backside 8.
Well, doggies.
Yeah. What about the green? Nope. They just go to 7. 5, 3, 6. So there you go.
It's not like we don't know this stuff. It's just that when you think about it, or when somebody asks about it and puts you on the spot, it's like, well, wait a minute. It's like somebody says, how do you spell the? T-H E, is it E? The T-H U-H T-H. Yeah. Anyway, that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Yes.
Yes, it does say second line infantry should generally be used to represent American units which were not prepared for combat.
Yeah.
So if you have your elite squads and then it's a morning attack, you have to switch them all out for second line because they weren't prepared for that.
Yeah, because they were still in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paratroops, 747s. I remember when Paratrooper came out. It's over here on my shelf. And 747s were in there. You don't remember that because you came in later.
Yeah, I came in much later.
Big deal. Oh, a new module.
Oh, yeah.
I have to drive to ProSex Hobby Shop.
I think even though I wasn't in ASL at the time, I could tell there was just a feeling in the air.
General excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 747 squad. So they have an ELR. ELR. Normally your ELRs, you're looking at what? 2s, 3s,
Yeah.
4. Their ELR is what?
5.
That is correct. And it's regardless of other ELR of other units in the scenario.
Yeah, which is very cool.
And the 5 means they break down into 2 half squads instead of go down.
Yes,
quality
right.
Unit.
Which is really cool. And I remember playing several games and not remembering that, not taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ordnance rules, all U.S. built armor fighting vehicles and ordnance, exception, ATR machine gun. That's not, machine gun's not ordnance. Well, I guess you can fire it as ordnance, including equipment used by other nationalities, which is identified by the small a in the name. When so a lot of your counters, you have a little G in parentheses, means it's a German weapon and a Russian color.
Right.
And they use the different colors. Those use red numbers prior to a certain year and black numbers to hit numbers after a certain year. That's a challenging question. Do you know what year that was?
1943.
Close?
42.
No, wrong.
Really?
Wrong
44.
44.
Okay. Well, that's why I thought it was 43, but
Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
It was 41.
I guess it took them all the way to 44.
Yeah. Okay.
Figuring it out.
Well, that's when we finally got in to set our foot on European soil, kind of.
Yeah, started getting a lot of experience, I guess, or maybe there was a technological improvement.
Well, that could be too, because we'd ramped up production so high.
So for ammunition, did the Americans excel in logistics compared to other nations?
Yes.
Yes, we did. And is that sentence in the rule book?
No.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is? It says Americans excelled at logistics.
The fact that Americans excelled in logistics, they typically. Then what happens to the American OBA batteries? Do they have?
They have to change the batteries, don't they? They run out of batteries.
But they have lots of batteries to change it with.
Okay. So. Yes, they do.
So would American OBA batteries have plentiful ammunition then?
Yes.
Yes.
Plentiful. How's our ammunition down there? Plentiful.
Keep firing then.
Yeah, keep firing. Yeah.
Rule 25.34. Smoke. Jeffrey. Do you like to smoke?
I do.
Is smoking good for you?
It's good for me.
I was wondering what you would say to that.
I recently, as you know, I've recently decided I need some bad habits because I'm
Yes, 'cause you're-
66 years old and I had no bad habits for 66 years.
I actually think you're practically perfect.
So
You and Mary Poppins.
yeah, me and Mary Poppins. So I decided to start smoking cigars regularly. So I just got these today and I was so excited. I had to bring them over to show Dave.
Yep, he always ropes
These-
me into going out
yeah.
in the backyard then.
And these are quick little cigarillos almost. Like, but anyway, do I like smoke? Yes, I do.
He does.
Thanks to Rich Spilkey, who really taught me to smoke like a freight train.
When you're playing ASL.
Yes.
Indeed. Yeah, I remember kind of avoiding it in the early days.
Yeah. Well, just not.
It's gonna make it complicated.
Did you? I just thought. I just didn't see the point. But Rich kind of taught me you take every advantage you can, and that made a big difference.
Yeah, I think I was always so prone. I just want to hit them with high explosives.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
hit them.
Yeah.
Blow 'em
Right.
up.
Yes.
But
Like
don't
as
have
long
to.
as you're rolling the dice, you want to make it blow up something.
and you really don't have to blow them up, though, right? I mean, to
Well,
win. You
in some
can
cases, you
block his
don't.
line of sight,
Right.
And there you go.
Yeah. So when would you say you learned to smoke?
After watching Gary Fortenberry play at ASWAC.
Oh,
Remember that?
I think I remember you
Yeah.
telling me about that.
And he
Yeah.
smoked. The guy had a kill stack in the tower. Fortenberry had to clear a roadblock. Yeah, something I don't do a lot, but so he's got him out. The guys are getting hit, clearing the roadblock. So boom, he smoked them up in that house or tower.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was like, boy, that's
Yeah.
a good move.
That's a good
You
move.
know. So American squad plays either white phosphorus or conventional smoke grenades at its option, Jeff.
Yes.
Correct. But placing white phosphorus is more difficult. See Rule 24.3, which I didn't look up. U.S. built British French color support weapons. I think I'll just read this.
Okay.
The U.S. mediums, heavies, 50 cals, M2, 60 mortars, and Bazes are provided in the British color in For King and Country, and in the French color in Croix de Guerre, second edition. They're identified by having that little A in the name piece. I think she's still wearing her work shoes.
I think she's wearing her Dutch shoes. She just get home from Holland. Wow.
Should have reminded her we're recording. And the Baz 44A is also used to scrounge as a Baz 44 scrounge from a U.S. built vehicle or wreck. There you go.
Okay.
I know you were wondering about that.
I was.
And that finishes the Americans.
How about that?
That's
Dun,
it.
da, da, da.
Nice and sweet. And now
Now it's time for
our interview.
our interview with Jim. Take it away, Jim.
And then the historical places you visited for the tournaments. Did we miss any?
Well, let's see. Yeah, we went up to the Littlefield Museum. We've done tours to, there's another smaller museum in El Monte, which is a suburb of LA that we did a day there. Trying to think of some of the other ones. We've talked about doing some other, like Fort MacArthur. There's not a huge number of World War II sites, frankly, in Southern California, We've been to the planes, there's 2 airplane museums that have large World War II collections that we've been out to, Planes of Fame, and I can't remember the other one out in Chino. We did tours out there too, where we just got everybody together and, we all met out there and did the tour. And it was cool, So we try to do a little of that. I don't want that to be, I would never want that to be the focus of the membership, but it's just kind of a fun thing for the day, right? Where we can do something different that's still kind of the same, but it's Southern California ASL Club. It's not the Southern California let's have fun doing World War II stuff club. you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so, you know, we still try to stick to the knitting as much as we can, you know.
And you never do one of those outings with the wives, right?
Well, the wives were always invited, and we had the Littlefield trips. We actually did have several wives
Oh,
went up at
okay.
various
Oh,
times.
okay.
There was at least a couple of guys brought their wives, which was cool. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're always invited. We did one day going to the shooting range. A lot of our guys are shooting enthusiasts or gun enthusiasts. So we did a day at the range, which it kind of is pushing the envelope in terms of, is it really World War II? But a lot of the guys had a lot of World War II small arms, so which was
Oh.
really terrific. You know, they had
Yeah.
Garans and Mausers, and I mean, we had between the various, I think we had 10 or 15 guys that came, and we had an amazing collection. You know, Lee Enfield rifle, and I got to shoot a lot of stuff that I'd never shot before because, you know, for World War II small arms. So, and my wife came to that game day or that event, which she's usually not real big into World War II stuff, frankly, as you know, it is what it is. But
Yep.
she came and shot with the guys and had a good day. So
Wow.
yeah, the women are always invited. They don't always come, but they're always invited.
And like
Yeah.
we had Mike Rizzi take us all to Gettysburg, and well, what 4 people, 5 people, and several wives came, and some went shopping. And
Sure.
my wife made it out to the battlefield for part of the conversations. So
There you go.
she
Yeah.
liked it, but
Yeah.
she wouldn't probably go again.
No. Yeah, I've dragged my wife to a few battlefields over the years. It's not her favorite thing to do, but she's, you know, she is a good sport if nothing else. So she'll go along with me to a point. So which is nice. You know, she's real sweet about that. So my daughter, on the other hand, is a big history buff. I dragged her out to she's in her mid-30s now, but you know, she didn't have, well, she, you know, she was interested in it, and so we spent a lot of time on battlefields when she was a kid in her, you know, high school and middle school years. You know,
Yeah,
we visited a lot of battlefields, which was fun. You know,
Yeah.
and you know,
absolutely
good
great.
for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we be wrapping up any soon, Jeff?
One last question. Do you guys do your own scenarios? Do you have like a
Oh yeah,
scenario?
in
We
the
do.
the melee
We-
pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, I need to put in a pitch for the melee packs. Yeah,
Yeah.
We have one over there. Keep talking.
we
I'll be
have it?
right back. I have
Okay,
one. At
okay.
least.
Yeah, we've done 3. We haven't done another one in a while. We haven't done a sequel. We did 1, 2, and 3 over, you know, a few years, not long period, but we haven't done one in probably, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 years, something like that.
Oh, wow.
We're actually actively working on Melee Pack 4, maybe Melee Pack 5. We may go with a bigger pack because we have a bunch of scenarios. So, but Melee Pack 4 is definitely in the works. We're actually actively working on that. I think we have about 8 scenarios that are more or less ready to go, and still looking to add a couple more. So, but yes, we do design our own scenarios. We play test our own stuff. We have a fairly elaborate system, like everything else with SoCal ASL. We have an elaborate system for it to
Yes.
get it under control because we have a lot of people. So we have to, you know. But we do. We have a playtest system that we
Are there
use.
copies of
You got it?
scenario pack 1, 2,
Oh.
and 3 left?
We print on demand. You can contact
you do?
our
Great.
website, and we actually print on demand. So we
So
don't get a lot
here's
of.
Here's your chance to do
Sorry?
your commercial.
Yeah, really.
What's the website?
I'm kind of looking forward to Melee Pack 4 is going to be kind of cool because I think
What-
we'll probably do. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were
Oh.
you going to say, Dave?
I just was like, did I leave to go get something?
You were going to go get, well,
Was it a
not a
beer?
beer. I think it was.
Oh,
You got sidetracked.
There we go.
Melee pack 1.
oops.
There it is. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going. It's just a prop,
Oh,
like
great
us.
scenarios in there is a lot of fun. You know, it was a lot of fun doing. It's kind of a learning experience if you've never done them, you know, done scenarios before. Yeah, curtain call you have on the back there. If I remember right, that's the one that's on the Numga board, right? Isn't that what it shows?
Mhm. Yeah, that's good memory.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we played them all to death when, you know, it's kind of the nature of, you know, like the New England guys, you know, do a lot of play testing because they come out with scenarios, right? So,
Yeah, right.
one of the things that we try not to do, it would be very easy to hijack our game days and just make them into playtest days,
Yeah.
but I don't want to do that. That's a great way to get guys to stop showing up when they're only going to, you start departing from your normal format. And not everybody wants to play test. Play testing is something that some guys enjoy and are good at, and other guys don't want any part of. So I don't want to, if somebody wants to play test, we always have a folder full of scenarios that are, hey, you want to take a crack at this?
Yeah, we've done some. We did a little for St. Louis guys, Jeff and I together, and then Dave and I did Hakapale and
oh yeah, sure,
and some other stuff for a few people. But when you do get something in your hands, it's pre-made, and you're kind of like, oh, I really want to do this. I can fully say, yeah, then you don't want to play test. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's an acquired taste. Not everybody, and not everybody wants to play test, and I respect that.
It's good to play test, but yeah,
I think it's, my philosophy is, it's part of, if you're going to participate in the hobby, you should participate in the whole hobby, and that includes, helping play test. At Oktoberfest every year, I always try to play test at least one scenario for Pete Schilling, because I'm a big fan of Pete and become friends, over the years, and I love his work. So, and it moves the ball downfield for him, and that's great. I think you have to participate fully, but I get that if you don't want to, that's okay too.
Yeah, it's good to give
not
back,
everybody's thing.
Right?
Yeah, I think, but people can give back in different ways.
Yeah.
Play testing isn't the only way.
And then do you find, I'm okay. Did I miss, you guys were talking when I was going over there? Did I miss like the development part I always wonder, like, are there?
Not really. No, I was just saying that we do have a methodology for play testing that, where we have forms that, when you play test, you fill out forms and that type of thing. So we can, grade, the scenario and what we're looking for and whatnot.
Yeah. And then some people probably shouldn't be play testing, right? I found like I missed something on Hakapale, Dave and I did that, we probably should have caught it. And so we always felt like, I don't know if I'm like the quality of a player to notice that there's this way to break the scenario. And
here's my philosophy on it.
Yeah.
That when the scenarios end up in people's hands and they get played and then they ultimately get reported on Roar, that's a cross section of players. There are guys, there's going to be scenario, there's going to be playings on there where the guy screwed up an SSR or didn't realize that snow prevents this or that, or it's not a perfect world, in other words. So I think everybody should, I don't think the fact that you might be an inexperienced player or newer player is necessarily a bad thing. I also think that my personal philosophy with play testing, and not a lot of guys always agree with me on this, I think you have to balance a scenario for the first playing. If there's, you want to try to make sure that it can't be broken, right? That's a key part of play testing. But beyond that, you want to make sure it's balanced for the first playing, because most guys don't play any scenario twice. It's a rare scenario that gets played by the same guys 2 or 3 times, right? So you want to make sure that what ends up happening, say it's balanced, but only if you play it 3 times, and by the 3rd time, both sides can win evenly. But the first time the Germans always win. What's that going to look like on War? Well, it's going to look extremely pro-German, right? And what ends up happening to scenarios that are 10-1 pro-German, they don't get played, I don't know. Personally, I usually check, my game time is as tight as anybody else's. I don't want to play a scenario that's completely unwinnable by one side or the other. I'll probably try to play something that's at least reasonably balanced. So that's kind of my philosophy. Balance the scenarios for the first playing, not the 3rd or 4th playing, because you're probably never going to get 2 guys play the same scenario.
So you're kind of saying, make sure like you and your friend or you and your few friends do need to do a lot of the work before you launch that out.
Absolutely.
Wider audience.
And I personally don't want to see the same two guys play test a scenario 4 or 5 times because I think that that's no longer a real valid sign of what two typical players that are sitting down, they've never seen the scenario before. Oh, this looks cool. Flop it on the counter and start pulling counters. That's guys that have played the scenario 5 times. That's not a reflection of those guys. And the reality is, those are the guys that are going to create your war record. Is the guys that just say, "Oh, this looks cool," not the guys that are going to play it over and over again. So I try to make sure when we're play testing that I don't get the same 4 or 5 guys playing the scenarios over and over and over again. That's not useful in my mind.
And then your scenario designers, do you have, is it just like the regular guys, or do you have?
Yeah, mostly it's been a great opportunity for guys that always wanted to design a scenario, but were a little too intimidated to participate in the whole MMP rigmarole or whatever, or weren't ready for the criticism they were going to get from the national audience, so to speak, that they could kind of dip their toe in the water and give an idea a try, so our scenario packs are usually a pretty broad cross section of club members. They're almost always club members or people that have offered to give us stuff that here, you want this for your pack, that kind of thing. But mostly club members, and mostly guys that have only developed a few designed 2 or 3 scenarios maybe in their whole life. So, but then that's part of the flavor of the pack too. You get a lot of different guys with a lot of different ideas.
I don't know why it never occurred to me that you could do print on demand, but
Because we're old, Jeff.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's
Well,
great.
yeah.
That's great that you can still offer those, all 3 packs.
We can still do that because we're printing those 3 packs using a colored inkjet printer. So our costs have gotten very high on it.
Yeah,
but
I'll bet.
we don't print that many of them anymore, right? Melee 4, when we cut out with Melee Pack 4, we're going to have to come up with a new printing process, probably. We're probably not going to print on demand. At least our initial run of it is probably going to have to be something else. That's one of the things that's kind of holding up production, frankly, because we can't quite decide how we want to go on that. We're not in the business of producing scenario packs, so we kind of have to invent the wheel when we do one, so
Yeah. If you have the 4 packs, yeah.
and the world of printing has come a long way in the 10 or 15 years since we did our last one. So there's that factor too. Some things have gotten very expensive and other things have gotten much cheaper. So
And then I like you even have the winter boards, which was a big,
yeah.
I talked about 15 years ago. Like I want
That's right.
boards.
Yeah.
Why can't
Yeah. Yeah. We try to do things that are, a little different, or at least they were different 15 years ago. Now kind of, everything's on the table now, right? I mean, stuff stuff starts to look dated pretty fast in the world of ASL sometimes. I think,
kind of.
stuff that was cool 3 or 4 years ago, now everybody's doing it, right? So, but yeah, we had a lot of fun doing those scenarios. It's been a real experience.
Should we talk a little? Well, I'll edit this part out. This is just for us, but I think we've been going over an hour.
Okay.
I like to go. We could put it in 2 shows, Jeff. We used to do that a lot. Lately, we've been doing like 1 interview per show, and then just us talking forever on another show. I'm sure people don't like that. But if we could talk a little bit about these scenarios, and then go ahead, Jeff, I'll break it into 2 parts, and I'll tack on
That'd be fine.
other stuff, or we can meet, and
if
do.
Jim's got time.
Was that okay? You got a few more
We
minutes?
can. I'm not sure how much I can tell you about those scenarios because most of them I haven't played in years.
Yeah, that's a pack number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, those we probably did those 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I played them all to death, but it's an old experience.
And we can always talk again too, like maybe when pack 4 comes out.
Yeah, we would love to.
If you or someone else who's developing stuff,
sure. Oh, we could get a couple. We could get a couple of guys actually. With,
yeah, we can get a couple guys. Yeah, I
That'd be
mean,
great.
we're always desperate for material on the show.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But did you? I'll still edit this out. But and then Don Pedros, did you say is?
Don Pedros? Yes, you bet.
And we haven't interviewed him, Jeff. I don't think.
No.
He did the man.
Oh, you need to interview Don.
We do.
Oh my. Oh, like I said, he's a really dear friend of mine, yeah, you need to do that. He's a great guy, great talker, he's easy to listen to. And he's got a lot to say. I mean, he has a lot of really original ideas. So,
he goes all the way back to the beginning.
the very beginning, yeah. And he's at West Coast every year. He comes to West Coast. He and I get together, not as often as I would like. He's retired now and I'm not. So, we get together as often as we can, usually at least around the holidays, maybe, 1 or 2 times a year, something like that, or he'll come up to a game day or something like that. But yeah, super tons and tons of ideas and philosophies about how he does the boards and his experiences, developing. He did Blood Reef Tarawa. He painted Blood Reef Tarawa. He painted Valley of the Guards. Those are, great stories. I mean,
yes,
fantastic.
Okay, so we'll come back. Like I'll start, and we'll pick up with what do we leave off with? Just kind of the packs. So I guess we'll just say some final things about the packs.
Sure.
And then anything else you want to add, and then we'll do our sign off together. Jeff and I have a sign off. I don't know if you've listened to the show, but
I've seen some of the episodes. Yeah, I needed to do a little bit of research before I came on. Right?
Yeah, because there's a lot of interviews.
At least see what I was in for.
Well, it's been going great. So, and then if you could send
I'm having fun.
If you could send us some photos too on the YouTube, I put up photos. The listeners at home who just do the podcast, like when they're jogging and stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So,
I'll
post some on the post.
Do you guys do either of you go on Facebook? Because we have a pretty active Facebook group, and I posted a bunch of photos onto our Facebook group. I don't know. I don't think I may have put them on the national group, but the SoCal ASL has its own Facebook group anyways, a Facebook page. But
if Jeff
a lot of those photos are on there, and they're free to just lift if you want. You can steal them,
Okay, and if not, then I'll just have you send us a few.
I still have an account. I'll grab some.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll pick up with the melee packs then. It'll work out, or I'll just blend the two scenes together. It works out.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, so the packs sound great, and maybe when the new pack comes out, that maybe we can talk with you again.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll get some of the guys we'll get a couple other guys also to come in and give you their ideas, and maybe a couple of the guys that design some of the scenarios.
Yeah.
Can give you an idea where they got their material from, and what their thoughts were, what they were looking to talk about.
Yeah, it would be absolutely
that'd be
great.
great.
So, do you have anything else?
I think that would be a lot of fun,
Jim, that you want to say to the community?
I'm having a ball. I love all the guys, because I go to Oktoberfest every year. I see an awful lot of guys. I've made an awful lot of friends. I have an enormous circle of friends because of ASL, so, but is that cool or what?
That's a great thing.
It's one thing to have a hobby when your hobby is, painting cardboard boxes or something. I don't know, but
miniatures.
And it's another thing when you can do or miniatures. Yeah, I don't want to pick on the miniatures guys. I have a special place for them. But or they have a special place for me. But where can you do your hobby and then build friendships the way ASL does? I don't think there's too many hobbies that can do that, and we're very, very blessed to be able to do that. So I'm really happy about that, and looking forward to a lot of more years. So
that's great. Well, you're a great president, and I would vote for you.
Don't tell anybody. You may reelect me again.
Dave and I will each vote for you twice.
We will, because we live in Chicago.
We live in Chicago. We can do that.
Like I said, I hold elections every year because like I told like I said, they voted me president for life, which I did not like that idea. And they said, well, why don't you like that idea? And I said, because president for lives get assassinated. So usually when you take the democracy out of the office, That's when bad things happen. The knives come out. So I do stand for election every year. As I say, not a lot of turnover. The guys are all pretty happy with what we do. So they're just happy that there's somebody there to do it.
Yes, and it is the structure you got is really fantastic. I would just mention too, Rich Spilkey, our friend who's been on the show often, and
yeah,
great, it printed stuff in the journal. He's kind of right. Jeff, he's kind of always said, like, how come these other states have this like really active community? And here in Chicago, we have the Open, thanks Dave Goldman.
Sure.
But we don't have a like structure. So like I had a Paso club, and then someone else had one over out west, and we didn't really coordinate. And then a lot of times, right, Jeff, we're just playing. There's a lot of players, so have never been short of playing guys.
Sure.
Just play guys. Like, oh, are you free this week? No, next week. Okay, maybe. And
yeah, right.
Do a
And that's what it
4-player
becomes.
game, and then we won't.
Right.
And then,
and that's much more typical. I think Northern California, the guys up in the Bay Area, for example, there's as many guys in the Bay Area as there is in the Southern, in Southern California. There's that many more in Northern California, but they operate more on hey, what do you got going on this weekend? And that's cool too. I mean, that's all ASL is good. We're kind of blessed that we have a great bunch of guys that enjoy each other's company and are willing to put in the work to make sure that new guys that come in or new people that show up feel welcome. That's always been a big thing for us. I'll leave it with one last real quick story.
Okay.
My very first in this, because this kind of speaks about my philosophy of how ASL should look, right? My very first experience going to Oktoberfest, and this is 30 years ago, probably now, maybe more than 30 years ago. And I signed up with Robert Feinstein, one of our other members and a good friend of mine. And I think Eric Johnson was there too. And we walked through the door. We didn't know anybody that was there. We're in Southern California, they're in Cleveland. We really didn't know too many guys that were there. And Mark Nixon greeted me at the table when I walked up and shook my hand and made me feel like I just walked into his living room and I had been personally invited by him to be there. He just made me feel so comfortable, so welcome to be there. And I just thought to myself, wow, that's what ASL should be. That's an ASL experience. That's what you want guys to have, to feel like they're welcome. And honestly, I love Mark and I admire him greatly. He's the guy that really showed us or showed me how to really make ASL a lot of fun and build something,
more than a game.
Yeah, more than a game. Yeah, more than a game. So that's my shout out to Mark Nixon, because he's the guy and he deserves it.
We'd love to interview him too if you can get in touch with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to drag him out of retirement, I think.
Yeah, because he showed up once at an ASLOC, I think, or was it an ASLOC?
Oh, he shows up at ASLOC every year, but usually briefly. Yeah.
Oh, briefly. Okay, because I remember people were like, "Oh, Mark's here,
cameo.
Mark Nixon. I've read his like scenario replays.
Yeah.
Where's this guy?" But
no, he's the best. He set the tone, and we just ran with it from there. Frankly, we really did. So, what would Mark Nixon do?
I'm not a crook.
Can't go wrong.
All right. Well, we'll say goodbye then. We'll sign off here, and we will hope to talk to you sometime in the future. And
thanks for joining us, Jim.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, I had fun. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye then.
Bye.
Okay, take care now.
You too. Well, Jim did very well.
Excellent interview.
Pleasant, polite, respectful,
and
a gentleman.
Talkative enough to make a good interview.
Yes, and that too.
Not that you have to be all that talkative, boys and girls out there. So if we've been contacting you and you haven't been replying to our emails,
please do. Yeah,
you can do an interview. And we can do a short interview.
And if you think you speak well,
we might let you come on the show.
Yes, just email us. Say, I'd like to be on.
Suggest someone that would make a great interview.
Even if you just want to be on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, talk about.
Yeah, actually zoom in and talk.
And just chat with us.
Maybe we should. Yeah,
we could do a little segment like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like a guest.
Yeah.
A guest a week, a guest every show or something for 10 minutes.
It's done.
Yeah, let's do that. We're going to get inundated.
Hopefully. And then next 2 weeks, we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Yes.
We want to say thanks for listening
Remember to roll low,
and rally well,
but not when you're playing us. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ta. Okay, let's go light up these cigars. Did I tell you about I saw a guy from Boston doing a cigar interview on YouTube, and he's talking about cigar. That's a really good cigar. This cigar is a great cigar. I like the smoke of this cigar. And I thought, man, was great. Great.
Talk his con to comp on?
That's right.